What's up next, Ryan, is that we are now joined by Brian Eckberg, sports editor, and he's brought some guests from 2K Sports.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a full couch here. We've got Mike Wang and Rob Jones from 2K Sports, and we're taking a look at NBA 2K8. Right, guys?
That's right.
Yeah. So, so tell us, where do we start with this game? There's a lot going on this year. You know, last year was a lot about signature styles and some control things, but you're doing some really interesting stuff with the controls this year, like off-ball controls and things like that. Where do we start?
Yeah, we'll start with off-ball controls.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the things that we really focused on this year is really just trying to bridge the gap between real basketball and video game basketball. And so a big push for us this year was really all about movement and the new motion model that went in. And that it really entails everything from foot planting technology to realistic-looking cuts and plants, both for the dribbler and on defense. And this whole concept of what we call an off-ball control. And really what it is an extension of our DPC mechanic we introduced last year, which is a dual-player control mechanic. Let's see what Rob's been doing. Just hit begin real quick.
So you're playing as Phoenix right now?
He's on. So we got Celtics versus the Suns. Rob's playing as the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to come up court in a second, and he's going to show you how it works. It's pretty simple. Right now you push the left bumper, and then, or you can push B. If you push B, it's kind of a quick version of the off-ball control, and you'll see Paul Pierce coming off the screen right there.
And that's basically just a get open button, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of I want to get my teammate open for a quick shot off the ball, so that's what that does. Or you can also use the left bumper. You press left bumper and you use the right stick to pick a guy, and then you can issue a command and tell him, hey, come off the screen and get open for a shot, go into the post, or come and set a screen for us for a pick-and-roll play or something like that.
So you have 4 options off the wall, or you can take control of that player.
Right, and then that's another aspect of the mechanic is you can also, if a guy is selected, if you press the right bumper when he's selected, you'll have control of that guy, kind of like a player lock type of thing for that play. So you can run around off ball wherever you want, try and get open. And it's a nice feature, and it features some really great animations that really, again, really helps us to bridge the gap between, you know, video game movement, which has always been kind of, you know, twitchy and unrealistic looking, to what we have now, which is a lot more basketball looking.
It seems like, you know, with the next-gen sports games, it's always been about improving animation, improving the quality of the animation, not just how it's captured and how it looks, but how it flows together. And you guys are doing that a lot with signature styles. Tell me about the animations this time around with 2K8.
Well, we put in a lot last year, but we didn't get to really do all aspects of the game like we wanted to. Last year was really a focus on jump shots.
Right.
And we added a whole bunch of jump shots last year. But the problem was we didn't have a lot of the data that we needed to really get everyone represented properly. You know, we had a limited number of actors trying to copying people's shots, and the best way to do it is really just to get a whole bunch of different actors in.
Sure.
And so this year it was all about data collection and really getting those to be right. And so we added a lot more shots. I think it's 30 new ones, but overall it's over 200 shots now. And then we added this whole concept of packages, and what it is you can assign different dunk packages, dribble packages, free throws to your guys so that you can also get them to play more like their real life selves.
Sure.
In other ways too. So
you're using a lot of NBA data in this game, and one of the things that's interesting to me is it looks like a little cell phone bar underneath the players. What is that, and how does that work into the game?
Well, for me, when you're coming up court, as the cell phone bars kind of fill up, it kind of gives you an indication of what that player's range is in the area where he's moving to. So, you know, Ray Allen, you'll start seeing as soon as he hits near the three-point line that it's filling up. The colors on the cell phone bars indicate what his current state in the game is. Is he hot? Is he cold? So if he's red, you know to take shots with him. If he's blue, you know that he has range from there, but you're not quite as positive that he'll make that shot.
Right.
You know, and then combine that with the fact that we're doing that we're tracking the players' hot zones from the charts that the NBA was so kind to give us last year. And one of the bonuses that you'll get is that if you're in the player's hot zone, you'll actually get an additional bonus on top of what you had before.
And as you're playing in a franchise mode or a season mode, does that data change throughout the season for how a player progresses?
In terms of what the hot zone is?
Yes, exactly.
No, the hot zone is so that you have your favorite players and you know exactly where the guys like to shoot from.
Okay. And there's also a new defensive help control this time. How does that work?
So based on your player's ability, if Mike can show you in a little bit, when an offensive player comes up to you, you'll get this lock icon, and the lock icon, will show up just as you're getting in position. The better you are, the easier it is to get the lock icon to come up. Once that happens, you hold down the L trigger, and what it does is it helps you keep in front of the ball handler, which is one of the biggest things that you get when you're playing both online and offline for the most part. Online specifically, it gets really, really hard. He's locked on right now. And so as long as he doesn't attempt to steal or doesn't veer far from where he should be moving to, he'll stay locked on and receive this help from the AI directly on it. At that time, you can also, once you're locked on, you can ride a guy, try to ride him to the sidelines, lock him up in that way. It's just a way to really allow you to get more physical with the offensive player than we've ever allowed you to do before.
But what's interesting is that even though you're locked onto a guy, you can still get beat, right?
Oh yeah, if the guy's better than you, he can turbo out and around from you. He can spin off of it. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're really tight on somebody, really great players have they have a ton of moves to get away from that.
Sure. So, cool, let's take some questions from the audience. Jeff, do you have any questions from our folks watching?
I do have some questions. Let's start with the one that I had. Don in California wants to know, how are the achievements in the game? Will they be as easy to unlock as maybe they were back in 2K6?
No, actually, we've added a ton of new achievements, and they're a lot more varied than they were last year. I'm not exactly aware. Do you remember what the number was?
I thought last time I checked there were 50.
Okay.
I'm not positive. The great thing about our achievements is that you can get them in the course of just playing normally instead of having to force yourself to get them that way. So it rewards people for just playing the game as they normally would.
We should probably talk about one other aspect of on-the-floor play is the play diagrams. How does that work?
So this was a big thing for us this year, is that we wanted to really help users understand the game of basketball, and so one of the things that has always been a problem in the past is, plays are running for you all the time, but you don't really know where to go as a player. And so what we've done this year is on the fly. I'll let Rob play while I talk about it. We have these little spots on the floor, like the blue circle will tell you where to go as a player, and then the next step in the play will come up as soon as guys are set. And so that blue line will tell you you're supposed to dribble to that area on the court, and you guys set the screen for you. And it helps you to really get the floor balance right and to understand what guys are supposed to be doing at any given time during a play. And so, yeah, it helps you run better basketball, and it makes the game a lot more balanced, I think.
Cool. Another question, Jeff.
Yes, let's go with one more here. Josh in Virginia wants to know, is the game kind of arcadey? He goes on to say that he felt it was a little too easy to dunk, both online and off, and is wondering kind of how the general structure of the game is going to work this year.
Right.
In that sense.
This is something that Rob alluded to earlier with the whole defensive mechanic. Is we got a lot of complaints last year that 2K7 was a bit of a dunk fest. It was way too easy to get to the basket, and so those two major things that we did was really focus on the floor, on-ball defense, getting guys out of the lane for one, but if they do get into the lane, there's also a lot more contact. So there's a lot more contact layups, contact shots, hard fouls to see guys getting hit to the floor. So it's definitely not an arcade game. It's a game that's, it's the #1 sim out there, basketball game. So
Cool. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming by. The game is NBA 2K8, and when are you looking to ship it, and on what platforms?
We will be coming out on October 2nd for the Xbox 360, PS2, and PS3.
Awesome. Still going with the PS2 support. Sweet. Yeah, that's totally awesome.
PS2 got some love this year too.
Totally.
So
cool. Right on.